Welcome to a very special episode of the Crypt of Knights. Tonight, the Crypt Creeps will be talking about the Fantastic Four, first steps from Marvel Studios.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, welcome back to the Crypt of Knights, the classiest, creepiest, most tremendous little corner of the internet where we talk everything geek. I'm your host, the Cryptkeeper, and yes, today we're reviewing the hugely anticipated, and let me say, very risky, the Fantastic Four. First Steps. The movie that gets Marvel's first family right after, frankly, a couple of total disasters. We were a little bit worried because the theater was almost empty, but did it deliver? Yes, it did. Directed by Matt Shakman, great television guy, tremendous with small screens, WandaVision, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, very dramatic, very stylish. But this was his first big screen test. His first step, you might say. Well, he passed the test with flying colors. The script, folks, oh boy, it took a small army. Josh Friedman, he did Avatar, The Way of Water. Eric Pearson worked on Black Widow. Also, some newer guys, Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer. In the production office was the man who runs the Marvel machine, Kevin Feige. Big name, big plans, bald head. We love him, sometimes we hate him. He's the top dog, and for a reason. We watched it in RealD 3D, which I have to say is absolutely terrific. For those of you who don't know, it's that ultra-premium digital 3D format, crystal clear visuals, bright colors, and depth that actually works. I don't think you needed this, but it's been a while, and we enjoyed it. Now, was the movie fantastic? I really think so. I really liked it. What about you guys?
I really liked it too. All right, gather round because the Fantastic Four, First Steps didn't just land on movie screens by accident. It's been a long road to get Marvel's first family flying right. And trust me, the journey to this retro-futuristic blastoff was anything but smooth. Let me tell you all about it. Let's flash back. After the crash and burn that was Fox's 2015 Fantastic Four reboot, directed by Josh Trank and quickly buried by critics and fans alike, 20th Century Fox didn't want to repeat their own mistakes. They had already done the mid-2000s Tim Story versions, so they went searching for fresh takes. At one point, they even considered a kid-centric movie inspired by The Incredibles, featuring Franklin and Valeria Richards, the children of Reed and Sue. Yeah, that almost happened. Meanwhile, Noah Hawley was busy developing a Dr. Doom solo film. But then, boom, Disney acquired Fox in 2019, and all that development got snapped away like Thanos at a Disney shareholders meeting. That's when Marvel Studios, and more importantly, Kevin Feige, stepped in. He announced at Comic-Con 2019 that Marvel's first family was finally coming home to the MCU. First, they tapped Spider-Man director John Watts, but he dropped out in 2022, said he was out of gas. Fair enough. Enter Matt Shakman, the man behind WandaVision and Monarch. With a pitch that emphasized family, optimism, and space-age imagination, he showed Feige a picture of him holding his newborn daughter and won the gig. No joke, this movie is personal for him. And the script? Oh, it's been through the ringer. We're talking a tag team writing match featuring Josh Friedman, Avatar 2, Eric Pearson, Black Widow, Jeff Kaplan, and Ian Springer. Kaplan and Springer were there from early on, shaping the comedic tone. Friedman came in to add that cosmic gravitas. Pearson's job was to pull it all together. He's Marvel's closer. And even Peter Cameron, a writer from WandaVision, joined the party late in the game. Then came casting. Oh boy, it was the drama of the 2023 strikes. Marvel wanted Emma Stone and Adam Driver, but negotiations fell through. Pedro Pascal eventually signed on as Reed Richards. I didn't like this at first. Reed Richards is not Latin, but boy did he deliver, joining Vanessa Kirby as Sue, Joseph Quinn as Johnny, and Eben Moss-Backrack as the Thing. A true fan-favorite casting. And yes, Marvel finally got it right. Ben Grimm is being played by a Jewish actor. Shakman took the 60s concept and ran with it, like full NASA meets Stanley Kubrick vibes. The Baxter Building is inspired by mid-century California homes. Reed's lab has color-coded science zones like something out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. They even shot on vintage cameras and used practical effects, including a real 14-foot miniature spaceship and a full-on animatronic Irby robot. The detail is next level. And let's not forget the villains. Galactus is here, played by the always intense Ralph Ineson. Julia Garner shows up as Shalabal, a female Silver Surfer. A female Silver Surfer? You're going to like her. I know she turned me into a true believer. Paul Walter Hauser gives us Mole Man in an unexpected, very funny but human take. And the post-credit sting? Yeah, it's a big one. But don't expect too much. Yes, there is a scene with Dr. Doom, played by none other than Robert Downey Jr., and the Russo brothers even filmed the post-credit scene themselves to set up Avengers Doomsday. But as I said, this is more of the same teaser formula than actual dramatic stuff. By the time filming wrapped in late 2024, they had shot across the UK and Spain, used Pinewood Studios to build a 60s Times Square, and created a truly textured, tactile version of this alternate Earth. Earth 828 to be exact. Everything about this film screams retro science fantasy, with inspirations ranging from classic Marvel Jack Kirby runs to Stanley Kubrick to modern Marvel comics like Jonathan Hickman's Future Foundation.
All right, let me break this down for you. So we got the Fantastic Four. First steps, right? If you've seen the trailers, you know this. Bunch of brainiacs and hotheads from the 60s. Reed Richards, super genius stretchy guy. Sue Storm turns invisible and throws force fields. Ben Grimm, giant rock dude with a Brooklyn accent T, and Johnny Storm, the human flamethrower who looks like he should be fronting a boy band. But the movie starts, and boom, a little title appears, Earth 828. And that's all you need. No further explanation as to why things look like an episode of The Jetsons. Genius Marvel. Genius. A few clever flashbacks, using old television techniques, for those who don't know the origin story. They went into space, got zapped, got powers, and we're in the middle of the story. Then there's Shalabal. She's the Silver Surfer, but a lady now. If you read some comics, you'll know that Norrin Radd is not the only herald for Galactus. Anywho, the hot alien lady tells them about how Galactus is going to eat them all, so just say goodbye to your loved ones. The Fantastic Four, who are now 5, because Sue is pregnant, go into space to find Galactus and talk to him. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but let's just say this movie is like The Omen meets Interstellar. Awesome plot. Awesome film. The theme is very personal. What else can I say? Go watch it.
Okay, first of all, who finally let someone into the room who knows who Jack Kirby is? Because thank God. For once, we have a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't feel like it was written by someone who thought cosmic rays were a brand of energy drink. No, this one gets it. They get the Kirby, the colours pop. The worlds are weird, the suits are retro-futuristic, but make it fashion. It's like Mad Men took a hit of LSD and wandered onto the set of a Marvel movie, and I loved every second of it. Now setting this on Earth 828, in this dreamy, retro alt-60s future. Inspired. Like, why hasn't anyone else done this? Oh right, because most superhero films are terrified of looking even remotely campy or stylish. But this one embraces it. It leans into the pulpy Jetsons on acid aesthetic like a drag queen in a space opera. You want silver jumpsuits? You got 'em. Neon cityscapes. Please, floating cars and curved architecture that would make Eero Saarinen cry. Yes, ma'am. Let's move on to the cinematography, which was drop-dead gorgeous. It was like watching Stanley Kubrick if he'd grown up on comic books and had a Tumblr account. Every frame was composed like a cover of a 1960s sci-fi pulp magazine. The use of colour, bold. The lighting, dreamy. The blocking, intentional. You could pause it at any moment and hang it on a wall next to your vintage Moebius prints and nobody would blink. Now, Galactus. Oh, Galactus. Look, we all know the rule. You can't put a giant purple space god on screen without it looking at least a little like a laser light show at Coachella. But honestly, they pulled it off. He looked like the album art for a prog rock band, but, like, in the best way. Did the CGI show a bit in 3D? Sure. There were moments where I felt like I could reach out and touch his polygon count. But the scale, the voice, the vibes, it all worked. You believed this guy could eat a planet for lunch and still have room for dessert. So yeah, this isn't just the best Fantastic Four film. It's the first one that actually feels fantastic.
All right, guys, let's stretch our imaginations to the haunted halls of genius, where Pedro Pascal gave us a Reed Richards that was positively elastic, in range, in emotion, and in gravitas. Deep, conflicted, brilliant. And no surprise, folks, because Pedro is always awesome. He brought a tortured soul to the smartest man alive, and I bought every second of it. Next up, she's fierce, she's vulnerable, she's invisible when she needs to be. But Vanessa Kirby made sure we felt every emotion. Her Sue Storm had heart, strength, and that perfect undercurrent of tragedy. A true phantom force of power and poise. She didn't just disappear into the role, she became it. Bravo, my Lady of Light. Now don't let the craggy face fool you. Eben Moss-Bachrach gave us a thing to remember. Even under mountains of digital rock, his performance was alive with emotion and grit. You could feel the heartbreak, the loyalty, the rage, all done by motion capture. The thing had soul. And that soul had punch. Flying in with flames and feelings, Joseph Quinn lit up the screen as the oh-so-human Johnny Storm. His performance blazed with charm and vulnerability. For once, Johnny was written and played as a hero, and not just a sexy punchline. Ralph Ineson as Galactus. That voice, that presence, that haunting sadness. This wasn't your grandpa's planet-munching villain. No. He was a cosmic tragedy, a black hole of pain and power. You felt the hunger. You feared the silence. He was as massive emotionally as he was physically. A villain? Maybe. But a monster in the most Shakespearean sense. And lastly, I must confess, I was filled with skepticism. But oh, did she convert me. Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer, a lady surfer, yes. And she glided through that role with elegance and anguish. Alien, mysterious, and achingly soulful. Plus, we got a chance for some sexy alien jokes that we really need. I was a doubter, but now I'm a believer, thanks to her ghostly grace. Yes, my freaky film fanatics, this cast did indeed resurrect the soul of Marvel's first family, and brought it screaming into life.
All right, boils and ghouls, let's wrap this up the classy way, the Crypt of Knights way. Here's the deal when it comes to the Fantastic Four first steps. You don't need the RealD 3D, okay? It's like putting ketchup on a steak. Some people love it, but the smart ones, the classy ones, they know the original flavor is already fantastic. Tremendous. But listen, you do need to watch this movie. If you're a fan of the Fantastic Four, and many of you are beautiful people, this is your movie. It's got heart, brains, brawn, and most importantly, style. And if you've never cared about the Fantastic Four before, you will after this. You're going to love them. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy a truly fantastic ride. This film, it's a win. Total win. Thanks again for tuning in, and please keep watching the Crypt of Knights.